Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talking Raw. I am your host, Kris. I just want to tell you guys before we get into this review that I want you to subscribe, like, comment, share, repeat. And wow, I just saw Samoa Joe win the Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules to become the number one contender for Brock Lesnar. Am I dreaming? Am I? That's a good question. But throughout the night, throughout this card, I was not dreaming because even though I'm so happy that Samoa Joe won and is going to go on to fight Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire and hopefully at SummerSlam. I'd love to see two matches between those two. This show was bad. Like, really, 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 really bad. And look, I am very, very disappointed in what WWE put on tonight outside of that Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way match because, wow. I mean, every single match on this card, besides the Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox and Rich Swann, Noam Dar match, that match was okay. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But everything else sucked. And it's just sad to see the WWE product at this state because, I mean, outside of that Fatal 5-Way match, this card was terrible. Like, it was really, really, really bad. So we're going to get into that right now. The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. This match was awful. And my lord, the ref was the dumbest ref on this planet. It was like comically dumb. Like, Maurice slapped the Miz, and the ref literally asked, are you with him? Are you with him? Are you kidding me? Have you never reffed a match in your life? How dumb could a ref be? My lord. And then the Miz pushes Dean Ambrose into the ref. And then the ref's like, oh, you pushing me? Are you pushing me? Seriously? I mean, seriously. This ref cannot be that dumb. He would really think that in a match where if Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, he loses the title. He really thinks that Dean Ambrose would push him. Even though he has done nothing to Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose has no reason to push him. And the ref's like, oh, you pushing me? You pushing me? I mean, how dumb can the ref be? Like I said, comically dumb. And the Miz wins, and he's the new IC champion. Didn't feel as good as it should, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. I love the Miz, but it feels boring that he has the title again. I mean, can somebody step up to the plate? And this isn't a knock on the Miz, by the way. Could somebody step up to the plate and make that IC championship feel special? Does the Miz always have to step up to the plate and make this championship feel special? Like, could somebody else besides him do that? Because right now they're having trouble finding people who can actually carry that championship and bring as much prestige as the Miz brought to it. So I'm not happy that the Miz won because it just reveals a big problem in WWE's mid-card at the moment. But he was the right man to win this match. He really was. We then go on to Noam Dar and Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. The match exceeded my incredibly low expectations. The match was okay. I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying, this is Malenko versus Guerrero too. But, the match exceeded my expectations. Not by much, but I mean, it exceeded my expectations. Everything leading to the match, during the match, and following the match was entertaining. I have to say that. The build-up, even though it was a weak build-up, I had fun watching it. And I had fun during this match. And I had fun following the match, seeing Rich Swann and Sasha Banks, display a very good chemistry on screen. I think I just botched that whole thing. Swann and Banks win. Not really much to talk about. I mean, where does Sasha Banks go from here? I don't know. I don't know where she goes from here. Probably a feud with Alexa Bliss. But those two apparently have a very volatile backstage relationship that I'll be surprised if they do go forward with that feud. We then have Elias Sampson singing a song. He sings a song completely ripping Baltimore. And he got massive heat. He got booed out of the arena. And I love it. I love Elias Sampson. I think he's fantastic. I think he's really good in the ring. And I think this drifter gimmick with the guitar, even though he already displayed it in NXT, and it got over a little bit. I mean, he got massive heat. I think this gimmick could work on the main roster. And I know he's only been on the main roster for a couple weeks, but I already like Elias Sampson more than I did in NXT. So they're building up a mid-card star, which is a very welcome sight because WWE has absolutely no mid-card right now. Besides Kevin Owens with the U.S. Championship, he's doing a fantastic job with that. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. This was the worst match of the night. And I'm writing this in my notes without seeing the rest of the card. And I stand by it. So, this match was terrible. It was horrible. It was bad. It was horrendous. It was every word I just said right there and more. This match was bad. Alexa Bliss seriously needs to get better in the ring. She seriously needs to get better in the ring. I mean, at first I was like, okay, you know, she's bad in the ring, but she has potential because she has a solid moveset. She just doesn't look good delivering those moves. She looks very green when she's delivering those moves. She looks very, she doesn't seem like she's confident when she's delivering the moves. On the mic, she's fantastic. So I said, when I saw her win that Fatal 5-Way in my hometown of Philadelphia, ironically, to become the number one contender for Becky Lynch's title, I said, you know what? She has a very bright future here, and she could be the top woman on the roster. But then I saw that she wasn't getting better in the ring, and I started to dislike her matches more and more and more, and they put the title on her at TLC in a horrible tables match, and then they started pushing her to the moon, and she hasn't lost in a while. She lost at WrestleMania, but besides that, she hasn't. I'm just not a fan. Look, I'm just not a fan of Alexa Bliss. She seriously needs to get better in the ring. And they missed a golden opportunity here for Bayley to have a big babyface moment and actually get extreme and snap and show a side of her that she showed in NXT and is the reason why us NXT fans who watched her in that promotion grew fond of her. And we were excited when she made her main roster debut. But to be honest with you, in hindsight, I wish it never happened because right now they're completely botching everything with Bayley. Her promos are horrible. Her in-ring work has declined drastically since her time in NXT when she was putting on classics with, Asuka and Sasha Banks, and she had an alright match with Nia Jax, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, they're missing opportunities with Bayley every week. Every week they're missing opportunities with Bayley. I mean, on Monday, they could have had her come out during that horrible This Is My Life segment and save the crowd from watching that dreadful segment. But they didn't do it. They had a chance here to have a big babyface moment and overcome the heel. They didn't do it. So, I keep on coming on here and saying that WWE is screwed up booking with various wrestlers, and she is definitely one of them. And another thing is, you could have a big babyface moment if you gave her the title at WrestleMania, and then have her defend it in her hometown, and then have this whole thing with Alexa Bliss happen. She probably would have been more over than she is now. That's just me Monday morning booking, but I've been said that she should have won the championship at WrestleMania, so this is nothing new. This is nothing new for me. Alexa wins, if you really care. This match was so bad that I didn't even get mad when Alexa won. I was more disappointed in the quality of the match. So, I'm going to leave that match be with that sentiment. The Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. I never understood the concept of a tag team cage match. You're punishing the team who are doing what they're supposed to do, and that's escape the cage. Like, you're putting the team that somebody who got out of the cage first, you're putting that team at a disadvantage with them going 2-on-1 in the cage. Never understood it. And another thing I don't understand is that when Jeff Hardy re-entered the cage, apparently he was back in the match. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? He escaped the cage, and he went back in basically as somebody who wasn't even in the match because it's a no DQ stipulation. So the fact that Jeff Hardy was entered back in the match automatically when he got back in the cage is beyond me because he escaped it. They even announced it. Jeff Hardy has escaped the cage. Something along that line. So I never understood it. I wasn't a fan of this match too. Too slow for my liking. It just felt like they took a break every other move. I understand selling the moves that the other wrestler is trying to get over, But my lord, come on now. I want to see some action. And why in the hell did Sheamus and Cesaro win? I mean, isn't the end goal to, fork over the belts to the Revival? I thought that was the end goal here. And obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon unless the Hardy Boys win the titles back, which I don't put that past the WWE. I mean, now Sheamus and Cesaro are going to start beating the Hardys. Even though they couldn't do it, the 30 other times they tried, now they're going to start beating the Hardys because they have the titles. So, I don't understand. I really don't understand. We then go on to Neville versus Austin Aries. Booker T compared Austin Aries, by the way, to Dean Malenko, and I was very impressed with that comparison because to put Austin Aries on a level of, to me, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time who competed in my favorite match of all time, and that's Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko, that's a very high praise. And in terms of in-ring work, I could see why he compared Austin Aries to Dean Malenko, because in the ring, Austin Aries is fantastic. I mean, this guy really is fantastic. Even though I didn't like this match tonight, actually, I wrote here in my notes, it was horrible. I thought this match was horrible. Austin Aries, though, still impresses me every single time he goes out there. When I saw this match was next, I was so happy because this show was so bad. But this match fell in line with the rest of the matches. It was bad. Why is Neville still the champion? I mean, is Hideo Itami coming up from NXT? Because if he's not, I don't see anybody in that division outside of a Cedric Alexander being able to compete for that championship and get that belt off Neville. He's had the title since January. Even though it was late January, January was still a long time away. WrestleMania was a long time away. And that's where he defended it the first time against Austin Aries. He's had the belt for a while. The end goal was to get the title on to Aries, and WWE failed. And if you were going to book this ending, then why would you have Neville, who never lost clean in the Cruiserweight division, tap out in a pointless tag team match on Monday? I don't understand. I don't understand the booking decisions of the WWE. So we're going to move on to the next match, which was the main event of the evening. Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. This match was fantastic, by the way. This match was fantastic. I heard people asking why Balor wasn't the Demon, and I don't understand why people are upset about this. It wouldn't make sense for him to be the Demon here. The Demon is only there in really big-time matches. Like, the Demon should only be used, to me, in one-on-one matches. You know what I mean? One-on-one title matches, WrestleMania matches, SummerSlam. It should be saved for the right occasion. But with that being said, Finn Balor needs to turn heel. I mean, this dude is very, 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 very boring. He needs to turn heel. They need to turn this guy heel. And when he started to show a mean streak, that's when I was invested in Balor. So that's quite an interesting dynamic there. And look, Finn Balor has all the potential in the world, but if they don't turn him heel and capitalize on the Bullet Club momentum in the Indies and make the Balor Club, then I don't know what the WWE is doing. And a perfect feud for them, the Balor Club, I'm going to get back to this match in a second, would be the Balor Club versus AJ Styles. If AJ Styles moves to Raw or the Balor Club moves to SmackDown, you do AJ Styles versus the Balor Club. Perfect booking. And also you could do Balor Club versus Shield. So you have many dream matches if you do form that stable. I really like the dynamic between Bray and Joe. There was an article saying that these two could be the next Brothers of Destruction if they plan to make these guys a tag team. And I 100% agree. I mean, obviously they're not going to reach the heights of the Brothers of Destruction, but they could be the modern day version of the Brothers of Destruction if they plan to make these guys a tag team. And look, obviously these guys aren't going to be a tag team because they ended up turning on each other. And I don't want them to be a tag team. I want them to be fighting for the Universal title. And obviously Samoa Joe is going to be fighting for the Universal Championship very, very soon at Great Balls of Fire. The spear spot was fantastic. And then the table spot was even better. Seth Rollins got some major height on that frog splash. He really did. Seth Rollins has really, really, really impressed me since he came back at WrestleMania. And then they're actually booking this guy in a good manner. Because when he came back, he came back at Extreme Rules last year after the AJ Styles Roman Reigns match. He then went on to win the title at Money in the Bank and then lose it to Dean Ambrose, who cashed in. And then he lost Queen on the first SmackDown Live episode, the draft episode, and then he lost in the triple threat match at Battleground, and then he lost at SummerSlam, then he lost at Clash of Champions, then he lost at Hell in a Cell, and then, he went on this pay-per-view losing streak. And I think the injury that happened to him, probably the best thing that happened to him, because now he's back. They're booking him in a respectful manner, a manner that makes sense for him. They gave him a win over Triple H for God's sakes. I mean, this guy right now is at the level he was at 2 years ago. In terms of in-ring work, he is right now on the top of his game. And the interaction between Roman and Seth was brilliant. These two showed a whole nother side of them that I haven't seen in a while. These two were intense. And Roman, to me, Roman is growing on me. And I don't think I'd ever say that. Roman is starting to grow on me. I think he brings a level of intensity to any match he's in more than anybody on the roster besides a Brock Lesnar and a Samoa Joe, ironically enough. And look, Roman is really, really improving to me. I think he's really improving. And I think a match between Roman and Seth right now, with how much Roman has improved over the last year, would be something I'd like to see again at a big pay-per-view, like a Great Balls of Fire, like a SummerSlam. And obviously, Samoa Joe wins the match. I reported on it yesterday, and I'm so happy that he won the match. I think this match between him and Brock Lesnar is going to be epic. It's going to be everything we wanted, and I'm predicting this right now. I don't think it's going to happen at Great Balls of Fire. I think there's going to be some screwy finish, but I think eventually Samoa Joe will take the title off of Brock Lesnar. It's either going to be at Great Balls of Fire or SummerSlam. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was at Great Balls of Fire, because right now, nobody cares about Brock Lesnar at the moment. You know what I mean? And then, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever said. Nobody cares about Brock Lesnar's title reign at the moment because he hasn't defended the title, so nobody cares. But this match between Joe and Brock is going to be epic, and I'm very happy that Joe won. It was a fantastic match. Him and Bray Wyatt really worked well together, and I cannot wait to see what Samoa Joe does in this match against Brock Lesnar. I can't wait. Great Balls of Fire cannot come soon enough. I never thought I'd say that. I can't wait for this match. This match is going to be epic. I can't wait. How many times can I tell you guys that I can't wait? So with that being said, that's the end of this review. And I want you guys to do me a favor and subscribe, like, comment, share, repeat. And I'm out, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this pay-per-view, this review, and Samoa Joe winning the number one contender spot. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below.